Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina, my lovely prometida. And you finally got your K1 visa interview date scheduled for the embassy in whichever beautiful country your beneficiary lives in. So you got the K1 visa interview date scheduled, and you want to know, what do I bring to the K1 visa interview? What documents do I need to bring to the K1 visa interview? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come on along and I'll give you the list, okay? Not the be or end all, but if you bring this stuff, you will be in success mode. So come on along, let's go. Brief introduction, I'm Diego, and I live in the Panhandle of Florida near Pensacola, north of Navarre Beach. And my beautiful prometida, my fiance, is Karina, and she is from Caracas, Venezuela. Beautiful Caracas. But she is a legal resident of Bogota, Colombia. Okay? And we're going to get married on Navarre Beach. As soon as she gets her K1 visa put in her passport, we can bring her to America. And Captain Bill is our wedding officiant. Now let's talk about K1 visas. Now the documents that you need to bring to the visa interview. Now every situation is going to be different, okay, but generally you're going to need the following documents. And let's start. Number one, proof of U.S. citizenship of your U.S. citizen sponsor, okay? A copy of your beneficiary's biographic passport page in color. Certified copies of all divorce decrees showing evidence of terminated marriages for everybody. And this may include annulments, death certificates if required, issued by civil authorities. And you must bring the original certified copies of the relevant documents to the visa interview. Okay? So if you've been divorced twice, you got to bring 2 divorce decrees finalized by a judge, certified copies. You need to bring proof of your relationship is continued long after you got your K1 visa approved and nothing's changed, okay? Bring photos together. Put a little photo album together of you guys showing your relationship is continued with the names of the people in the photos, the date the pictures were taken, and where the pictures were taken. All right? A complete photocopy of the K1 visa package that you submitted to the lockbox in Dallas, Mr. Sponsor. Okay? Now, that would be including the form I-129F. If you don't have the copy of the I-129F, don't worry, it's probably not going to be asked for at the end of interview, but if you have it, bring it to the interview. You need to bring evidence of any legal name changes where applicable, okay? Second letter of intent to get married, which are sworn legal documents, okay, from you, Mr. Sponsor, and Miss Beneficiary. You got to indicate that you still have an intent to get married, that you're still single, that you're still both legally free to marry each other, that you promise to marry each other within 90 days of arriving in the United States. Now that's not 3 months, that's 90 days. What happens if you don't get married in 90 days? Your beneficiary will get a letter of deportation. Okay, so make sure you get second letters of intent to get married. Now, Miss Beneficiary, you need to write this. If you don't speak English, if you cannot speak English, you write your second letter of intent to get married in your native language, and then get it translated by a certified translator into English. Very important. And you bring the original letters of intent to get married, signed in black ink, which is required by USCIS. Not me. I don't care if you sign in pink ink, but USCIS says you got to sign it in black ink. If you got married through a marriage broker, then you must bring evidence of supporting International Marriage Broker Regulation Act, IMBRA documentation, and the waiver, okay, with you. You got to get a waiver for this. If applicable, probably not applicable to you, but you just need to know this. 2 passport-style photos of the sponsor, 2 passport-style photos of the beneficiary and any of her children, and then write your name and date of birth lightly in pencil on the back of each photograph, each passport photo, in color. No sunglasses, no hats, nothing like that. You need to bring the birth certificate of your sponsored beneficiary and her children, translated into English by a certified translator if not in English. And you need the original full-form birth certificate. Generally, an acceptable birth certificate must be issued by like the local government agency or civil authority, okay? In full form, not the short form. Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, you need to bring a valid unexpired passport, and if you have children on this K1 visa, K2 visa process, the children too. And you will need at least 6 months left on the passports before they expire. Unless you're from Brazil, then you need 8 months. And there are, some country-specific exemptions like Venezuela. If you have an expired passport from Venezuela, you can still travel to the United States because the State Department and during the Trump administration gave Venezuelans a 5-year extension on their unexpired passports. And that's still in effect today, okay? So don't forget that. Police clearance certificates must be obtained from countries where the sponsored fiancé, you, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, lived or worked for more than 6 months, okay? Including your country of residence. Karina worked and lived in Venezuela. We got a police certificate from Venezuela, translated into English by a certified translator. She's a legal resident of Colombia. She got her police certificate from Colombia, translated into English by a certified translator. You're going to need the sealed medical exam, which was issued by the approved doctor, physician, civil surgeon, approved by the State Department, and obtained by the sponsor's beneficiary in his or her country of residence. Okay, so the medical exam, it's in a sealed envelope. Don't open it. The Declaration of Financial Support Form, I-134. Now, this is filled out by the sponsor, the U.S. citizen sponsor. And the beneficiary does not sign this form. This is the sponsor's responsibility to show that he or she can financially support the immigrant, the beneficiary, your future wife or husband in the United States. And this I-134 has to be signed by the U.S. citizen in black ink, and supporting documents to be submitted with this. And it has to be the original I-134, not a photocopy, not a scanned copy, not an auto pen. The original I-134 signed in black ink. How do you get it to your beneficiary? You can mail it. You can bring it in person. Use DHL, FedEx, UPS. Get it to your beneficiary. The original, not a copy. Now, typical documents included with the I-134 include a copy of the U.S. citizen's last 3 years of tax returns, last 3 years tax transcripts, W-2s, 1099s, okay? Get 3 years worth. Are you going to need 3 years worth? Probably not. You're going to probably only need the last tax year that you filed. But be prepared in case you get an immigration officer that wants 2 years or 3 years worth. But be prepared, okay? And also bring, pay stubs, a letter from your employer, etc., showing your employment. You need the DS-160 confirmation page printed. When you fill out the DS-160, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, now your sponsor can help you if you don't speak English, because it has to be in English. When you print it, you got to print the confirmation page, and you will have a DS-160 for you, Miss Beneficiary, and for your kids, for your K2 children derivatives. So if you got 2 children and a beneficiary, you're going to have 3 visa fees to pay and 3 DS-160 confirmation pages to print out. And you're going to have 3 MERV receipts, which is when you pay for the visa fee. Although the DS-160 is a free form, there's no charge for filling out the DS-160. It's free. Imagine that. Something free. Bring your NOA-2 letter, your approval letter, Form I-797, and the welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Bring that along too. Will you need it? Probably not, but bring it with you in case they ask you for it. And then attend your K1 visa interview, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, with all your petitions, approvals, and supporting documents from your original petition. This includes documents from the U.S. citizen sponsor. You are probably not going to need most of these items, okay? You're not going to need them. But having them could help avoid any delays in your visa process if the immigration officer asks for them, okay? So bring them. Be over-prepared. Be a Eagle Scout, okay? Not just a Boy Scout, be an Eagle Scout. Dress business in business attire. Don't wear jeans and t-shirts to your visa interview. And you've got this, okay? It's not difficult. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And don't forget, Diego, which is me, I do a live stream for you guys for free to help you get through this K1 visa process. I do a live stream on Wednesdays at 5 p.m., Saturdays at 7 p.m., and Sundays at 11 a.m. And soon you will have your K1 and K2 visa in your passport, flying on an airplane to the United States, our constitutional republic, where you're going to start your lives over with your new husband or a wife. And we can't wait for that day to happen for you. Don't forget, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give legal advice, okay? I don't work for USCIS. I'm not an employee of the U.S. Embassy. But I've been through this K1 visa process twice. I've been through the CR1 visa process once. And I got 8 years of experience going through this process. And I want to help you, guide you, and get you through it. It's not difficult. If you pay attention to details, pay attention to when you fill the forms out, when you put your K1 visa interview package together. Don't forget any documents. Bring everything I mentioned, and you will have a success. See you at the live stream.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.